Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is suggesting the State of the Union speech is no longer the dignified event it once was. Correspondent Molly Henneberg reports on the latest salvo in a war of words between the High Court and the White House.
It's tradition that most members of the Supreme Court attend the President's annual State of the Union address. And no matter what the President says and no matter what the lawmakers do in response, it's also tradition that the justices stay seated and mute. That apparently bothers Chief Justice John Roberts, who spoke on Tuesday to University of Alabama law students.
The image of having the members of one branch of government standing up, literally surrounding the Supreme Court, cheering and hollering, while the court, according to the requirements of protocol, has to sit there expressionless, I think is very troubling.
Part of what irks Roberts was when President Obama directly, publicly chided the justices in his January State of the Union speech.
Last week, the Supreme Court reversed a century of law that I believe will open the floodgates for special interests, including foreign corporations, to spend without limit in our elections.
Which drew this now famous headshake and, quote, not true response from Justice Samuel Alito. The court had ruled that corporations and unions, but not foreign corporations, could fund political ads for or against candidates. The Chief Justice suggests the State of the Union is not the proper venue for such criticism.
It does cause you to think whether or not it makes sense for us to be there. To the extent the State of the Union has degenerated into a political pep rally, I'm not sure why we're there.
The White House responded saying, quote, the President has long been committed to reducing the undue influence of special interests and their lobbyists over government. That is why he spoke out to condemn the decision. One veteran court watcher says it's very rare for a high court justice to weigh in on such matters.
They just sort of take the criticism without responding because they feel like they don't want to become involved in the back and forth and the rough and tumble of politics.
Morrow says the last president to go after the court in a State of the Union address was President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1937. Roosevelt criticized the, quote, judicial branch for striking down several parts of the New Deal. Brett?
Okay, Molly, thanks. Much more on this on the panel.